Right, thanks everyone. So I just want to say, this one's going to knock your socks off.
Hey!
You like that?
Sock business.
Not heard that before, have you? Sorry, yeah, dad joke. Andrew Kemp. So I'm just going to introduce you as a guy that went from earning 300k in HSBC in the boardroom at the age of 25 to betting big on a sock brand. A sock brand with his wife. He's taken a bold leap from the corporate finance world to a purpose-led mission. Today he's a co-founder of Bearkind, #1 sock brand on a platform called Fair. That's in the UK, stocked by over 1,000 retailers and driven by a mission to support animal conservation. He also co-founded Candid Founders, a fast-growing community helping early-stage brand owners scale with honesty and grit. Andrew's journey is packed with real-world insights on B2B growth, brand purpose, and building something meaningful from the ground up. Big round of applause for Andrew. So, Andrew, first of all, one thing that stood out for me was you being effectively being on the CEO track at HSBC, 6-figure salary, etc. 25 years old. Most of us would have probably thought we'd crack on with that. That's the dream. Surely that was the dream. What made you leave?
It definitely was the dream, and I came from the UK, or from Australia to the UK because I wanted to be in finance. I'd spent some time in Hong Kong, New York, with university and work, and came to the UK actually for a girl who left me when I arrived. Not my now wife. But I just got into HSBC, did really well, and was earning, I thought, just too much money for my age at the time.
Honest.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I kind of got to the point where I was never going to leave HSBC. I thought it was a great place. I enjoyed it. But just something in the back of me was like, I just want to be more entrepreneurial than a big bank is ever going to be, compliance, regulatory risk, all that sort of stuff. And so, yeah, my wife started Bearkind, and we were just kind of growing more and more, started with plastic t-shirts, metal straws, recyclable totes, all of this kind of weird things, and the bamboo socks took off. And then I thought, actually, it's getting to the point here, even if I'm doing so well at HSBC, I could always go back. I want to try something else. I want to be a bit more entrepreneurial. And so, yeah, my parents lost the plot when I said I'm, going to pay myself nothing at Bearkind to begin with. And yeah, here we are.
So effectively, giving it all up and taking a huge risk, just talk us through those early stages of kind of a side hustle, I guess, to a degree, and then getting to the point where you're in 1,000 retailers. How did that journey start?
Well, I was I don't know about anyone else, but I was highly anxious, and my nuclear fusion reactor of just energy was probably the anxiety of letting my parents down. I thought they did an amazing job and raising me, if I say so myself. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I mean. I just thought the world of them, and I just really didn't want to let them down. And kind of on reflection, that's actually where all of my energy and my anxiety about wanting to earn a lot of money came from. And so I got to the point where I did that, and I kind of looked around and just said, I don't need to do this for my parents anymore. I kind of want to go out and grow something. So yeah, that's why kind of moving to Bearkind. And then once I made that realization, it was just a matter of I think you said kind of gave it all up, but I could always go back. I've got.
Would you? No.
No, probably not. No, never actually.
Never. Probably never.
Yeah, probably never. But that's just because I think the entrepreneurial stuff's much more fun. But the girls before the Lucys, what an amazing business. I think there's so many direct-to-consumer brands that I see all the time that have an amazing product that works really well, that's selling through TikTok, what have you, that needs to get into retail, and independent retail. And we went from 0 retailers to 1,000 retailers in 18 months through this Fair platform, which everyone I've spoken to today, actually, bearing in mind that we're all in e-com, hasn't heard of this fair platform, FAIRE. And like that's pretty crazy. We went from 0 retails to 1,000. And if I'm honest, my brand didn't really deserve it, in the sense of like the product wasn't ready, it was early days. And if I compare the product we've got now to what we had, I'm amazed that we got into 1,000 doors. But we're still kind of growing and it's working really well. So like that's probably one of the biggest things that we're now doing through our YouTube, is just trying to share with everyone and anyone here. If you've got a great product D2C business and you want them to add another 50% to their revenue in a year, push them onto Fair, because it just like it is that easy. So that's kind of why I'm here as well.
Okay, and so you donate a portion of profits to animal charities. So just explain about the power of purpose-driven branding, because I think that's quite an interesting.
Yeah, it's been super powerful for us. So we donate 10% of profits from the sock to the animal on the sock. We support over 45 different charities now. And the biggest connection that we've made from driving more sales is just making that connection of purpose to the actual product that we're selling. We're the #1 sock in the UK on Trustpilot, on Fair, among some other platforms. And I really do think it's just because customers continue to come into bat for us. So maybe with the ladies with the hair syrup, they could support people losing their hair. That sucks for me, but whatever that kind of like social, ethical purpose that you can connect your business to that makes sense to your business. And that's kind of why we started Bearkind. We were thinking about, do we want to do a charity? Plenty of charities out there that saving animals. How can we shovel them a bunch more money, shovel them a bunch more awareness, which is obviously you guys know how much direct-to-consumer brands are spending on advertising and just getting in. We work with like the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, and I call them up to do our yearly donation, and this lovely old lady picks up the phone. She says, "Okay, and what was that number?" These businesses are do an amazing job for the hedgehogs, but aren't doing a great job getting out their purpose to other people. So we're just trying to just share that mission. Customers come into bat for us. Whenever I get that shitty comment on Facebook ads being like, "Oh yeah, whatever, you probably don't even donate money," I'm just sitting there, oh my God. But then my customers just destroy that person. And so if you ever need kind of like, a social media department that is pushing back against people from thousands of different customers, like that is such a great way to do it. When Lucy started the business, she was like, "I'm going to do it donating money from the product." And I was like, "Honey, that sounds nuts. Like, let's just do it at the end of the year, see how much money is left over." She's like, "You don't understand. Like, this is the whole reason we're doing it." And once you connect that to actually just do a little bit of a donation off the back of it, it's not going to, we're not going to become the WWF by any stretch of the imagination, but every little bit kind of helps. So just kind of doing that connection.
The purpose, it influences customer loyalty.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And like all of our best customers, whenever we speak to them, is like, "Oh yeah, I've got the elephants and I've done my whole sock drawer to save animals, and today I'm saving X animal." I can't tell you how many times I've heard that.
Okay.
And for a small average order value business, like if we're speaking e-com language, people buying 3 socks, average order value at 30 quid, like we live or die by return customer rate. And so just kind of like pushing out those stories on a regular basis and getting them to swap the whole sock drawer. We've got some really exciting innovations, which is like such a nerd thing. We don't have actually sizing at the moment on the cuff, but we're getting that, and no other brand has it. And so I can't wait to smash them. Wow. And bring that innovation to market.
Can we just go back to the platform Fair, because obviously it is remarkable. Because when you introduced it to me, it was like, yeah, I've not heard of it actually, and then I speak to other brands, it's like, I've not heard of it, and so it's nuts. So can you just try and sort of emphasise the importance of that and how you've scaled on there? Were there any kind of pivotal kind of strategies that you put that were really key to getting 1,000 retailers? So that's crazy, yeah. So
has anyone heard of Fair? Hands up. It's like 5%, nothing crazy. So basically, like at the very beginning, it's like Amazon, but for independent retailers. So you've got a tat shop on the high street, you've got a sock shop on the high street, whatever, they're looking for products. And they used to call up the businesses and say, "Hey, do you have this sock? Do you have this sock?" They'd send out a trade catalog, and it was just so old school. It was terrible. Or you'd have like a website, like a Shopify Plus B2B store. But now they've got the marketplace. There's a bunch of reviews behind it, give a bit of trust. The best thing is that they do 60-day terms. So these retailers pay 60 days later. I get guaranteed payment. I've not had a single retailer not pay me through Fair, which is just unbelievable with how many retailers we've got. But the things that worked for us, and this is why we started the YouTube channel to share about the power of the purpose-driven organizations and trying to encourage everyone to do that. But it quite quickly became clear that businesses are super greedy. It's just the way they're set up. And so how can we help them through Fair? One of the things that we did is we pitched like the Royal College of Podiatrists. So it was like a trusted source of people that are interested in socks, maybe. They're a service business. How can any service business wants to become a product business? It's like that classic circle kind of diagram you guys probably have seen where it's, e-com agency wants to become a SaaS provider, which wants to become a product business, and kind of like in a circle. And so we just went out to these Royal College of Podiatrists and we acquired 500 podiatrists in like 1 week, which is unbelievable as everyone's kind of focused on medical grade, boring products like stockings that look terrible. If you've got to use them, that's fine. Like they work, but they're not as cool as my best-in-class novelty socks by Bearkind. Yeah.
Could you just expand a little bit more about the channel? So obviously Fair's there for one channel there for retailers, but from a digital marketing point of view, what channel mix are you running and which is working the best?
So we are a novelty gift business that only works in Christmas. The past 5 years we've been trying to I need to find a better solution, especially because a better kind of wording for this, so guys help me out, but flogging a dead horse. Like, I'm an animal saving business, I need to work on that. But we were just flogging this dead horse, which was our businesses in quarter 1 through 3. And so we were just trying to make it work. We're advertising like crazy, tried a whole bunch of different agencies, and just nothing slapped. And we took our kind of foot off the pedal this year, and essentially we're not marketing on a direct-to-consumer side at all. Agencies, I can only apologize for my lack of business during quarters 1 through 3. But then during Christmas, we're massive into, I think like 95% of my sales go through pretty much like that kind of funnel of Facebook, not Insta, desktop, straight onto the website. My conversion rate's 10%. During the rest of the year, it's 2%, which is crazy because I'm not driving any traffic. I just can't drive enough traffic. And so then my split across the year is 1/3 B2B, 2/3 D2C. But right now, it's like pretty much mostly Fair, the B2B platform. And then during Christmas, naturally, it's direct to consumer, just goes absolutely haywire.
Okay. Challenges, do you have the typical challenges from an inventory point of view, product selection, etc.? We all know it kind of affects margins, cash flow, and then ultimately customer satisfaction. Have you gone through those pain points? Have you nailed it?
Yeah, it's actually a good point. We have just nailed it finally on kind of like our top tier products, where we're now starting to like really over order and over invest in our hedgehogs, puffins, that type of thing, and they're going crazy. But we've got 100 different animals that we kind of support with the 45 different charities, and we're now just starting to cut animals, and that just kills the team. Ouch. Because we've got missionaries that are just there to save animals through Bearkind, and they're sitting there being like, but I don't want to get rid of the otters or whatever, the sock that we're moving on from. We're bringing them back, thankfully, but the design just sucked. And I think I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not a fashionista. Not as smart as the ladies were in their suits. And so we're just trying to now become a fashion business. And, you've got pink socks, they're not mine. I'm really upset, Tony, that's great, don't worry about it, mate. So we're just trying to become a fashion business now. Yeah,
I've hided them.
Hide those ankles. The only people worse are the people that don't wear socks.
Who's not wearing socks? Hands up.
My mother hasn't worn socks in 60 years.
Yeah, well, she's dead to me, unfortunately, yeah.
Animals, where does it start? Which animals? Just out of interest.
What are the best?
It's not even a question I've got written down here.
Best are like puffins, hedgehogs, Highland cows go nuts. People just love that kind of like fluffy look. And it's one of those ones where you go to like the giftware association or those kind of like trade providers, and you tell them what your animals are that are selling, and they go, oh yeah, of course, there's definitely those. You go to anyone else and they're like, oh, maybe it's the ixlotos or the fish or like the ducks. They always get it wrong. But gift like industry, people that have done it forever, they just know instantly. Really popular animals sell more, so we're trying to support more of them.
I want to make sure we cover the other side of what you do, your other love, which is the idea of helping other brands, new brands, startup brands, etc. Can you just explain to the audience Candid Founders and where that started, why, and where it is now?
So we started because we wanted to share the purpose-driven, the power of purpose-driven marketing or I guess connecting that to the product and then to businesses. And we were just having fun with it, putting more and more content out there. Fair was a big part of our business, so we started sharing that more and more, and that kind of just took off. And then for a couple of years, people kept asking me, oh, can you do this for me? And I was like, oh my God, no, I probably can't. I'm too busy focused on Bearkind. But then it just got to the point where, quarters 1 through 3, Bearkind's just dead. So how can I help businesses during that period? And so now that's what we do a little bit. We just help brands, grow, manage that kind of side of their business. And it's that, one of the things I would say is it's not just as easy as like just putting the brand on there and hoping that you'll get sales. You need to do the work. I'm sure every agency's heard that before. And so we're just like pushing people to reach out, put more sales through the platform, use the email tool, do the SEO, all that kind of normal stuff. But so many brand owners just like, oh, I'm so busy. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but how good would 50% more sales be? With massive orders that are super profitable, why wouldn't you just try that? And so yeah, we're just trying to encourage people to go on to Fair.
Thanks, Andrew. I'm going to throw this. I want to make sure we've got enough time for a few questions from the audience. So yeah, any questions for anyone? Ian.
I'm going to ask Andrew, what's your favourite animal?
The hedgehogs. Hedgehogs or the puffins. We support the Scottish Seabird Centre, and we went up there. That was awesome. And they just sell like hotcakes. We've got one design. We sell just a ridiculous amount. And the most important thing for animal conservation is habitat conservation. So the more that we can support an individual animal that's successful, the more I can support all of the seagulls, all of like the cormorants, ospreys in that area. And all I need to do is just sell the puffins, and they support all the other animals. So yeah, the puffs.
Yeah. Would you consider going into pants?
Like underwear?
Into pants.
Is that underwear?
Underwear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Australians. These would be pants.
Serious question. Where did you come up with your name?
Lucy thought about it. She wanted something that was, kind of would work across metal straws, plastic t-shirts, recyclable totes, and bamboo socks. And she wanted to be kind in business, and she wanted to do things like as bare as possible. So that's kind of the connection. In terms of pants, like. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go into that business, mostly because I'm like the foot model a lot, and I don't know if I would like to be. I don't know if I'd like to, do that. Yeah.
Do it.
No, not yet. Maybe if I was a bit younger, but anyway.
At the back.
Do you feel like customers are really connecting with your purpose when they're buying the socks, or are they just going, oh, okay, that's a cute pair of socks and it's a tenner and that's fine, that's about where it should be in the market? What proportion do you think of the purpose really drives the sale?
Oh, it's such a good question. I think the closest we've got is like, because whenever you ask that question, people are like, yes, purpose, it's purpose. But it's just, we just don't believe it's kind of that much. It's a 50-50 split on animal versus colour. And so we kind of think it's like a 50%, roughly internally. Whenever we do surveys, no matter how, if it's the most loyal customers to the person that just bought once and they bought one sock, it's just a bang on 50-50 split. So we think that's kind of that, where it gets. And then every single one of our ads, which I guess is a really good pure play kind of way to do an A/B test, whenever we do wording on exact same, imagery, it's always these socks save endangered animals that wins. It pips out everything else, which probably by about like maybe 20-30%. So somewhere between 30 to 50 is kind of our thought process internally.
If the selling on fair is the thing you kind of hung your hat on as your expertise, I guess, I'd love to know how you optimise that in terms of, presumably, it's not like e-com where you're getting loads of feedback in terms of if you change something, you might then get 2 more retailers in or whatever. How you get that feedback, and then whether any of that's informed what you then do in your own B2C work.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Firstly, like, subscribe, follow for more. Off the back of the YouTube, say that so much. But the main thing that we've seen, like, we're hundreds of thousands of views normal on D2C, a couple hundred is normal on the B2B side. So what kind of like the A/B testing really isn't there yet, just due to pure numbers. I mean, conversion.com, I think they're always saying like, you want 100,000 views to kind of work on a decent A/B test. But it's really just like the common sense off the back of it. We haven't done an A/B test, like one of the A/B tests that we have done, because we haven't done too many just because of volume, is like minimum order quantities. Massive, a big thing. People are like, I only want to sell to retailers that will buy 400 quid's worth of socks, 100 socks, right? At wholesale price. Our view was always like, just be super retailer heavy. Retailers are investing in your brand. They're not buying your brand because they want to make cash flow. They want that certainty that they're going to sell. And so we were just like, actually it's 0. You could buy one of our socks at the wholesale price, but Fair does a pretty good job at keeping the fraudsters off there. All the people that are just buying like a direct consumer business. We did that over the course of 8 weeks. Every week we had an MOQ, no MOQ, MOQ, no MOQ, and we sold more with a higher average order value through 0 MOQ, which is crazy. But like, you say that to a brand owner and they're sitting there like, what? I don't want to give 60% off discount on a direct consumer type of customer, but it's actually not about them. It's about the bigger people that go, oh yes, I'll just add this and this and this and this. And they're sat there for half an hour and then they've got your whole catalog and they're spending a couple grand. The other thing we did is we did a massive like increase in our promotion. So distributors for socks kind of kick in really anyone doing maybe 5 grand, 10 grand a year. And we did distributor light discounts. So we now give people 20% discount. Distributor discounts normally like 33 to 35%. We give like distributor light 20% discounts on orders over 2 grand. No one will ever take it, right? But people do. That's a lot of socks. So these people are ordering now once or twice a year, a couple thousand socks at a time, and we just totally saturate them. They can't go anywhere else. What an amazing viewpoint. So that was the other A/B test we did, which seemed to work.
Thank you, Andrew. I think a round of applause, and then we've got a part B to this one as well. But round of applause first.
Very good.
We're going to phone you out. So we've got some freebies. We haven't got one for everybody, so we're going to launch them.
Does anyone have no socks? I feel bad doing this, but you do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, launch it. You got more? There's more. Is this what we got?
Hey.
Oh, I nearly not.
Very good. Too funny.